Hey, what's happening? Well, I thought I'd make another video. Yesterday was record store day, and today isn't. So I'll show you what I got. Last year, we didn't participate in record store day. There just wasn't, from what I remember, there just wasn't anything on the list that we wanted. And this year, I sort of felt the same way, kinda. I mean, there was a few things that I sort of not really wanted, but it's like, well, I'd like to have that, but if I don't get it, that's fine. There was one that when I knew we were going to participate, when I knew we were going to participate, we went over the list again, and there was one that I wanted, and I knew that if I was able to get it, then I would, well, I'll explain it later. But anyway, I got the one I wanted. So the first thing I want to show here is some CDs that I bought recently, Napalm Death, Scum, and their second album. It's From Enslavement to Obliteration. And Napalm Death is a band that I haven't really, up until now, haven't really listened to much. But I've been listening to a lot more death metal and thrash metal, a lot more obscure stuff, and bands that I've sort of skipped over the years, not intentionally. Just it's like, wow, I've heard this name, I've seen this, maybe the album cover or something, but I've just never listened to it. So I'm catching up on all that. But to show you what I got on record store day, this is the only thing that I bought that was an actual record store day release. Here, Emily, I gotta move you. This is our little Chihuahua dog. Sit right over there, okay? Sit over there. This is what I got. It was Black Sabbath, The Eternal Idol. I want to say this had been out on vinyl before, but I'm not positive. It says new remaster from the analog tapes. Excuse me, limited edition, translucent, a ruby vinyl, featuring The Shining, excuse me, which was the first single, and the lyric sheet. And I have this on CD, but I know it was been released on vinyl before. This is vinyl, because Kat actually has an original. Of course, she has so much stuff that I don't have. And there's the lyric sheet. So yeah, it had been on vinyl before. Of course, she has an original, which this originally came out in '87, I believe, and was the first album to feature Tony Martin on vocals. And, you know, like I was saying a minute ago about catching up on death metal and thrash metal and discovering a lot of new bands, a lot of old bands. With Black Sabbath, you know, I wasn't super familiar with the Tony Martin era up until the box set came out, and I was going to show that, and I forgot to grab it. I don't know what I've done with it. Anyway, I bought the box set that came out recently, the CD version, because it had all the bonus tracks on it. It was the Tony Martin era minus the Eternal Idol, and I bought that. Up to that point, really all I was familiar with for the longest time was just the music video for Headless Cross and that song. And then fast forward to, excuse me, to the internet and YouTube. And, you know, there was other videos from other albums. And so I discovered those. And then, of course, you can listen to everything online. But anyway, I wanted to get, I said, if I got the Eternal Idol on record store day, then of course I'm going to have to get the other ones on vinyl that I don't have. So yesterday I also got Cross Purposes, and this is the 24 Remaster 2. And this was originally released in '94. This one's on clear vinyl. And then I also got this one, Tear. Some people call it Tire, but I think it's pronounced Tear. And these are all the Tony Martin era. This one is a 2024 remaster too. From this album, came out in 1990 originally. And then I got Forbidden, which is, this was the 2024 remixed version by Tony Iommi, and this came out in 95 originally. A lot of people were saying that they liked the remixed version because this was considered, by most people's standards, one of the worst Black Sabbath albums. And I've heard that for a long time, and when I've watched ranking videos, people rank it at the bottom, and I've listened to it, you know, based on that. I'm thinking it's not really that bad. I thought it was, I don't know, but a lot of times what I like is not what everyone else likes, or vice versa, so could be that. But I really don't think it's that bad. Well, I was at, and first of all, let me say, and I should have said this at the beginning of the video, we got up at 2 a.m. on Record Store Day. We were going to go to Plaid Room Records, which is where we have been going from time to time. And we were going to go there because Kat's cousin wanted to go there, and there was a couple records that she wanted. So anyway, we went there and we got up at 2. We got ready. We picked her up, and we got there about 5 o'clock, and there was already an enormous amount of people outside. They don't want them to line up. They sort of get numbers, and then they give them a list, and they check off their list, and et cetera, et cetera. So we stood there for quite a while in line, or kind of a line, got our papers with the list and our number. We was 194, 195, and 196. So, and the store didn't open until 8 o'clock. This was at 5 a.m. So it's like, and Kat had to work at 1 o'clock. So it's like, we did the math, and it's like, okay, they, on their website, they have now serving, when they open at 8, now serving this one, they go by the numbers. And so it's like, well, we're never going to get in time to get the record, go get something to eat, get home, and for Kat to get to work on time. So what we thought is, well, we'll see how the numbers go, but in the meantime, we'll go to Everybody's Records, which we've participated in Record Store Day there before numerous times, and they didn't open until 10. So, and we didn't know specifically, you know, they usually have everything, but we didn't know how many copies of stuff was, and, you know, what people wanted, this and that. So we drove to Everybody's. There was only probably less than 10 people in line at that time. This was probably around between 5 and 6, maybe after 6, I'm not sure. And so we just got in line. We stood in line till 10 o'clock till the store opened. We went in. I got what I wanted. Kat got what she wanted. Her cousin got what she wanted. And we looked around a little bit, and I got some more stuff, those Black Sabbath ones I just showed you. And we got something to eat, and we got home. Kat made it to work on time. So we didn't really plan it that way, but that's sort of how it worked out, which I should have said that in the beginning. So anyway, going back to what I was saying before I got off on a tangent. About, I don't know how many weeks ago, actually it's been a little over a month or so ago, one of my friends at work, he was telling me about a record store here at, closer to where I live, called Catacomb Records. And they specialize in metal, basically, you know, all kinds of metal, black metal, death metal, thrash, and hard rock, metal, everything. And so I went there. I think this was the second time I'd been there, and I found they had 2 or 3 copies of this. This is the original Forbidden, and there's not really anything different other than the remix. I mean, the album, you can see the album is, this is the remaster reissue 2024, and this is the original one from, I guess it'd be 95, yeah. So, and then there's the back cover of the original. There's the reissue. So, and this one is the one that people say is terrible, and this is the remix that people like, that Tony Iommi did. So I seen this and I thought, well, I'll probably never get those Black Sabbath records, and I've never seen that Forbidden record before up to that point. So it's like, I'm just going to go ahead and get it, and I'm going to listen to it and decide for myself, even though I'd already listened to it online and liked it. Anyway, and the other record I bought that day at Catacombs Records was Anthrax' first album, Fistful of Metal. I've been wanting this forever on vinyl. I was really shocked to see it, and it was a really decent price. And I'm pretty sure that this is an original on, I guess it'd be Megaforce Records. So, and this is with their original lead singer before they got Joey Belladonna. And I've always had a sort of a love-hate relationship with Anthrax. I like this first album because to me it's pure thrash. And as their albums went on, they seem to get more, well, first of all, Joey Belladonna is a smooth singer. He doesn't have a rough voice at all. And the first album they did with him was, I want to say it was Spreading the Disease. And I used to see the video for Madhouse on Headbangers Ball. And I like that song a lot. It's like one of my favorite Anthrax songs. And I bought I'm the Man on cassette single. It had like 4 versions of I'm the Man. I think it had a Black Sabbath cover on there, which I like that. I mean, the novelty of it. But I never was much into Anthrax until not their most recent album, but their first 2 that they did when Joey Belladonna rejoined them, Worship Music, and I can't remember the other one. Those 2 records are like the best records they've ever done, in my opinion. I haven't heard the newest one. It looks like the Kiss Rock and Roll Over album cover, sort of, which is intentional. I haven't heard that one yet, and I think they had a live one out before that or after that, or maybe that's a live one, I don't know. But I haven't heard that one, so there's Anthrax. That's a record I've been wanting for a long, long, long time. And then there's this record store, not a record store, there's this, it's like a video store / record store. I mean, they sell books and 45s and CDs and action figures and collectibles and DVDs and Blu-rays and everything. And this this store is packed. And I've sold some stuff to them before. I've sold some Pops, some Funko Pops, and some DVDs and stuff. So I went up there one weekend, a few weekends ago, and I bought, did I buy this one up there? I think I did. For a while, before I got onto this death metal kick, which I go from genre to genre when it comes to music, and then there for long periods of time I'll be on a certain type of music, whatever. But there for a while I was on this yacht rock thing. There's a yacht rock channel on Sirius XM, which is all great music. I don't know if you've heard that or not, but it's like really soft rock music from the 70s and 80s, and it's songs that you've heard your whole life. So anyway, I made a playlist on my iPod for that, and then I got rid of an enormous amount of records when right after we'd moved here. We had a garage sale, and I give some away. I think I said that in one of my recent videos. And so I don't remember what I got rid of and what I didn't get rid of, and I haven't went through all of my records in here. I went through most of them a couple times looking for stuff. But anyway, I don't think I have this one anymore, or maybe I never had this one, I don't remember. But it's Kenny Loggins' Keep the Fire, because they play quite a few of these tracks on the Yacht Rock channel. So I wanted to get this because it was like $2.99. So it's like, well, I'm going to get that in case I don't have it, you know, just because. So when I was up there, I went to the counter, and this was a movie that I'd seen a couple times. I bought the DVD recently, and before I bought the DVD, before I ordered it on Amazon or whatever, I went up to the counter after I was done looking around, and I said, "Do you have the do you have the movie Licorice Pizza?" He goes, and he looked, and he goes, "We don't have that, but we have the soundtrack." So it's like, well, I definitely want the soundtrack. This movie is really good. It's an acquired taste, I imagine. This is the double album. I think it's colored vinyl. Yes, it's colored vinyl. I don't know. That's like a translucent red. Initially, when I first heard about this movie coming out, or maybe I heard about there's a movie coming out called Licorice Pizza, that was originally, if I'm not mistaken, a record store in California. There might have been more than just the California location, called Licorice Pizza, and I'm thinking, cool, they're making a movie about that record store. And so then I watched the trailer or whatever, and it's like, you know, okay, well, that looks pretty good, but there's like nothing in there about a record store. What's going on? So we did eventually watch it on something. I don't remember what it was. And it's like, I had mixed feelings about it because that's what I thought it was going to be about, and it has nothing to do with the record store at all. I don't even know why they named it Licorice Pizza. I still haven't found the reason behind that. Because it's an odd name for something that it represents one thing and it has nothing to do with it. So, but anyway, I bought the DVD since then, and it's like a cult classic for me now. It's like a favorite of mine. I mean, I don't think it's been out long enough to be a cult classic, but so I got the soundtrack. Oh, and the soundtrack is one of these main characters, this girl here. She's in a group called Haim, I think is how you pronounce it, and their sister, it's a sister group. And I actually don't think there's any of their music on this, which is strange because you'd think there would be. But there's like quite a bit of songs on here that's, I mean, it's quite varied. You have, I'm just going to name a few here. Blood, Sweat, and Tears, James Gang. You got The Doors, Paul McCartney and Wings, Sonny and Cher, Nina Simone, Bing Crosby, David Bowie. Not together, separate. Seals and Crofts. But it's a really good soundtrack, and it's a movie that sort of grew on me. It's set back in the 70s, so it's set in the time period when that store apparently was, you know, pretty popular, I suppose. So there's that. But one of the main things that I was shocked and excited to get when I was up there at that store is they had like 5 or 6 copies of this. It's the Smashing Pumpkins Greatest Hits. It's called Rotten Apples, the Smashing Pumpkins Greatest Hits. I cannot talk. I have this on CD, but I didn't have any Smashing Pumpkins on vinyl, so it's like I have to have this. I absolutely have to have it. I was on a Smashing Pumpkins kick there for a while, and I bought some of their CDs, some of their, like their first 3 or 4 CDs, whatever it was, and I think this is colored vinyl too. Yes, it is. It's almost the same color as that other one. It's a little bit more orange. But the Smashing Pumpkins is like a fairly new obsession that I have. Like I said, I'm currently on this death metal, thrash metal kick, but I really appreciate the Smashing Pumpkins for what they are. And this has all the hit songs on it. I don't really need to go over all of them, I guess. Rhinoceros, Cherub Rock, Zero, Tonight, Adore, on and on and on. But 1979, it's a great song. So yeah, Billy Corgan has a podcast. I don't know if it's strictly video or not. I think it's audio too on an actual podcast websites and stuff. But on YouTube, he has it's a video podcast where he interviews different celebrities. The most recent one is he interviews Carrot Top. He's had a lot of people on there. He's had Tom Morello, Gene Simmons, Sharon Osbourne. So if you want to check that out, it's on there. And the last thing I bought, which is aside from the stuff I got at Record Store Day, the most recent, I bought this at Catacombs Records. I went, I think it was the weekend before last, and I was aware of this group, and I have some stuff on my iPod. This is on Rise Above Records. This is called Recorded Dead by Friends of Hell. Friends of Hell is the name of the group. I said I would never want to do that again, but I did it. Hello. It's called God Damned You to Hell. And it's like a, not really a parody, takeoff, rip-off of the Church of Satan's Satanic Mass album cover. And there's the Friends of Hell. There's people from, guys from other bands. Let me show you the vinyl and then I'll read that to you. And this one is purple vinyl. It's more like a plum, technically. And this is sort of, I guess you would consider it blackened death metal, maybe, or blackened thrash. I'm not sure. There's a lot of genres out there, but you have Hell Butcher on vocals. By the way, there's a new Hell Butcher album out, a new group, and it's really good. You ought to check it out. Beelzebub on guitar, Spirits on guitar, Ganelli on Jarva on bass, and E.S. Danzog-Alug on drums. Says especially thanks to Merciful Fate and Slayer as the main influencer on this album. So Merciful Fate and Slayer, you can't go wrong with that. That's a great combination. So there you have it. I just thought I would do a Record Store Day video and show a few things that I got recently to round it out. But yeah, I've been, like I said, totally obsessed with on YouTube. It's nonstop, you know, downloading music and watching videos, and there's this new group, and I almost hate to say it because I haven't bought anything of theirs yet, because but I plan to. There's this new group. If you like classic thrash metal in the vein of like Slayer, early Slayer, or Creator, Sodom, some of that stuff, there's this band from Guadalajara, Mexico. They're called Phantom. They're a bunch of young guys, and the music is awesome. They have like 7 music videos on YouTube, and it's like, it's almost takes you back to, it's almost like a time warp when you watch their videos. It seems like that they're truly in the 80s, which is the whole point. So yeah, if you have some free time or make time to get on YouTube and watch some of that stuff, it's really awesome. So that's all I got. This is quite a long video compared to most of mine here recently. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next, video and whatnot. Ta.